Hello everyone, and welcome back to Two Bros Hot Takes, where we watch a movie and then tell you if you should watch a movie. I am your movie-watching host, Older Bro.
I'm your other movie-watching host, Younger Bro.
And today, we return to Hot Takes with a completely different movie than we planned to return with Hot Takes to.
Yeah, we were debating on whether or not it's going to be Minecraft, but apparently there was an anime movie that dropped without either of our knowledge.
So here's how this went down, guys. So I was entirely expecting that we were going to go back and watch the Minecraft movie this week because we had it written down for last week. We did not do it last week. And so I was like, okay, we're probably going to go watch that movie.
Yeah.
But then I found out from someone at work that apparently the Hatsune Miku movie was out. And this was shocking to me because Younger Bro didn't have it written down.
So here was the problem with this movie, guys. When I was keeping tabs on this movie, I never got notified saying it's releasing X day, X month.
Yep.
Got nothing.
Yep.
The last time I looked at it, it said releasing in 2025.
Yep, and that is factually what happened.
And that's why I didn't have it on the schedule, because I didn't know the date.
Yep. So yeah. So it was so shocking that he did not have it on the schedule and that it was out. I was like, okay, we have to go watch this movie immediately because he would kill me if we did not watch this movie.
And he was right, I would have.
So I ended up driving Younger Bro to the theater, and it was not our theater. It is not in our local theater.
Nope.
So we had to drive an hour away to a bigger theater without me telling Younger Bro what the movie was. Until he got into the actual movie, into the theater, into the screening room.
And as soon as I saw who it was by, I was like, yep.
Yeah, because I think it had PA Works or something on it. It was like...
Yeah, because I recognized their logo from the game. Yep. I'm like, yep, that's... And the trailer, too. Yeah, because it was like, I think it's like
G Kids did the port, PA Works did the movie, and there was some other company that did the actual game.
Yeah, and then I saw Krypton immediately after that. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
It has to be.
So I could not, unfortunately, get him into his seat without him knowing what the movie was to live react about it being the Miku movie.
Yeah, because I saw the screen as soon as I walked in. Cause
I did everything else in my power to get him in that seat without him knowing what the movie was.
But yeah, also in rare turn of events, I did not pay for this movie, even though I would have.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Well, I couldn't let you pay for it because you'd have to know what the movie is to pay for it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean, I could have handed you my card.
No, that's fine. But yeah, so we did in fact go and watch the Hatsune Miku movie in theaters. Now, one critical problem we're going to have with this review, guys, is even if we tell you to go watch it, I'm not sure that's possible because I'm not sure this movie is going to be in theaters more than 1 week. So, just keep in mind that if you want to go watch this, it is probably not in your local theater unless it's a big city, and it may not be in theaters anymore when you see this.
Yeah, this is a track record for all the anime movies. With some exceptions, I think Dragon Ball stayed in theaters.
The Dragon Ball movie was in theaters for a while. I think the Spy X Family.
Nope, that was weak.
It might have been in for a second week, but that was about it. There was one. There's Suzume, I think, was in there for a while because I think it was Suzume was the one we said there's almost no chances to be in theaters anymore, and it was in there for another 2 weeks or something.
It was going to be the last week, but they extended it.
Yeah, so it got extended after we said it's not in theaters anymore.
Yes.
And I think, there's a couple movies we've said there's not going to be 2 weeks of this, and there was. So we look like idiots, but we
just weren't expecting it.
Yeah, we appreciate looking like idiots on this because you get to watch the movie. So
yeah, so in case you haven't seen this movie, obviously because I'm the guy who plays Miku on our channel, go freaking watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can, watch it at your earliest convenience.
Yeah. Now, I will say, you should be aware that this is based on the Colorful Stage game, so a lot of the characters in it are from that game. So you probably are not going to know who half the people in this movie are unless you are from that, you know that game. But you can watch the movie without that knowledge.
Yes, so I Googled it a little bit. This story, I'm just going to call it a prequel, especially because of the ending. I'm going to explain to you what I think the ending meant.
Sure.
But that's later on. But anyway, I'm going to consider this a prequel to the plot of the game. So, both the game's plot and the movie's plot, completely different.
Yeah.
But this is still in the same world.
Yeah. So the people who are in this movie do appear in the game, so there is relation between them. But it's kind of like how Dragon Ball Z movies don't always directly connect to the story.
So another thing you guys gotta know about this movie and the game, mainly about the game. So the game used to be called Crossover X Miku.
Yeah.
Or Crossover X Colorful Stage featuring Miku.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about Miku at all. And then as soon as they had the game up for a while, they're like, no, we're rebranding this as a Miku game.
What I was gonna guess happened is that the game wasn't originally made by Miku. Like, it wasn't made by Krypton or any of the companies related to Miku. It probably then got, like, popular to some extent in Japan.
I think they were in association with...
Well, I'm thinking it was in association. But originally it was a game made by somebody else featuring Miku. And then when it got popular, one of the Miku companies either bought it or they got the rights to make it be a Miku game.
Yeah, they completely rebranded it
because it was popular.
So you guys should also know I've not played the game. It was already on the schedule,
like
obviously.
7,000 miles down the schedule, but it was on the schedule, which is why I was like, okay, I know he knows what this is. But he either doesn't know this movie exists, or it's been in development hell and he didn't know when it was releasing because it's not on the schedule.
But yeah, I'm sorry I haven't played the game yet. It's just I want to play other Miku games besides the mobile one.
Yeah.
But obviously now because of this movie, okay, I gotta play it at some point soon. And I will do it when I can. We're a bit in a great spot with mobile at the moment.
In that it may or may not continue to exist.
No, it may or may not come out this year.
Yeah.
I'd say at worst it comes out early next year.
Yep.
That's at absolute worst. But otherwise, what did we think about the movie? So I will just say it's one of those movies where the plot is kind of everywhere.
Yeah, this is kind of a fundamental problem with this movie in general. The plot of the movie makes sense. I understand the plot they're going for, but the issue that you're going to have with it is that it's 5 different groups of people. So you have to deal with the fact that you have to keep track of who the fuck is being talked about at any given time. But also the fact that, like, they're not connected in almost any way.
Yeah, and
like,
it's also multiversed as well.
Yeah, it's like, no, it isn't multiversed. That's the weird part of it.
That's what they said.
But yes, that's what they said, but that's not what they mean. Because one of the group's sisters, like, one of the groups has a girl in it, and one of the group has a guy in it, and they're literally brother and sister. But the Mikus are multiversed. Which, for some, like, it doesn't, I don't know what the hell that means.
What I think is they're adopting the thing that Project Diva X did, where you had certain modules, like this was the cool module.
Yeah.
This was the elegant module.
Yeah.
That's what I think they did for this movie. Like, this was the elegant Miku.
Yeah.
This is the fun Miku.
Yeah, because in one of the lines, they literally make it sound like this is another dimension. Like, where it's like these, like, the people in one of these Miku worlds is literally not from our Earth Miku. Like it's another Earth. And no, they are all from here. They are all from the same planet. But it's like, it's worded in a weird way.
Yeah, it implies that's multiverse.
Yeah, and that's not what they mean.
No, it's
But yeah, it's a very strange movie because of that. Because you have 5 different groups of people who are only vaguely connected to each other, if at all. And they all are just doing their own thing around this Miku who can't sing. Which is not a spoiler because it's literally the title that she can't sing. So, like,
I'll explain more about that.
Yeah, we'll go into more details about that. But, like,
But
as they're interacting with her, all 5 groups interact with her, but none interact with each other.
But I also feel like this was a slow build-up film. It did feel kind of sluggish at first. But as soon as it gets to the good stuff, it goes hard.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 2-hour movie. So, like, it's on the shorter end technically, because most movies tend to be either 2 or 3 hours.
But it just goes from 1 to 100, and honestly, it's not a bad 1 to 100. It's just like, boom, in your face.
Yeah, so it's definitely a movie I'd recommend you see if you like Miku. If you're not interested in Miku or music, because this is a musical in quotes, because it's a Vocaloid movie, obviously. So, if you're not interested in those, you're probably not going to find a lot here you want to see.
I'd say if you like anime and the plot is everywhere, you'd probably like it.
If you have never played this game, you're probably not going to know the difference between, like I was saying when we got out of the movie. I don't know that I, as a person who's never played this game, would have been able to tell that this wasn't just 5, like, real bands that are, like popular Japanese, like, not AI bands, but, like, online groups. Like, that are, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you that those aren't just 5 real bands of people. Versus being characters from the game.
Let me tell you what I originally thought. When I saw that this game was first called, like, what was it? Something crossover. Colorful Stage Cross something.
Yeah.
I thought that was saying it's a crossover between, I don't know, another Vocaloid and Miku, like Gumi was.
No.
And I'm not even sure Gumi's even in the game.
Probably not, because Gumi isn't owned by Krypton. Gumi's actually a different company.
But
so it's very rare that they cross over.
Yeah, regardless, I'm pretty sure out of, like, the stuff I've Googled and seen, because I needed to Google this.
Yeah.
Because I doubt, I doubt Rockstar is going to review Hatsune Miku.
Nope.
So, anyway, as far as I can tell, they are all characters just for this game.
Yeah, I think what it is just that they're supposed to, what I'm going to guess is this is sort of like Love Live, in that there's 5 groups in the game that are canonically musicians, and that Miku's involved with in some way, and that one of the groups in this movie straight up looks like a Love Live band.
Yeah, seriously.
And I was like, okay, well, here's the Love Live group, here's the metal band, but it's like...
And one of the characters in the Love Live fun group, they did, I think it's Synthesizer with her and Ren.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's... So there's a lot of variety, but yeah. It's definitely a very strange movie.
Yeah, because there's more than one Miku as well.
Yeah.
And all the other characters. That's why we call them the cool Miku and the fun Miku.
Because there's literally, like, the circus Miku and the edgy, like, kind of gray world Miku.
She would probably be...
The heterochromia Miku.
She'd be elegant, probably.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd call heterochromia Miku elegant, but yeah, sort of. But, like, yeah, they've got multiple Mikus like that. If you're looking for the traditional designs, they basically don't appear in this.
No, the raspberry one, that was the rock Miku. That design was from one of the games.
Well, no. I'm not saying that none of these have came from any of the games. I'm saying, like, if you're looking for, like, OG Ren, OG Lin, OG Miku in completely their normal outfits, those are basically not in this movie. They appear for very few frames.
They are in the background.
Yeah, but they are not characters that appear in this movie. Like,
I like how Miku was everywhere in every media.
Yeah, they definitely...
That was insane. I was like,
definitely
dang.
make... I don't think Miku's quite that big.
I wouldn't know because I haven't been to Japan.
Yeah, but she is popular, but she's not...
I don't think there's an entire city based on...
No, she is not all over Akibahara.
Like, there's no way. That was the one thing I found crazy. I'm like, either this whole town is just addictive Miku
No,
fans,
they're-
or
They're just overplaying it.
or
But,
they're
yeah.
just really, really like promoting Miku.
Yeah. Okay, before we go any deeper into talking about the movie, spoiler section obviously is going to start here. Go watch the movie if you like.
Oh yeah,
if you have any interest in Vocaloid, Miku, music, anime,
I don't think it was
the game.
I don't think it was the best anime movie I've seen, but it also wasn't bad.
Like it was fine. Like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, this movie, like they didn't name any of the Mikus, which kind of disappointed me. I wish they would have given them names because they technically have names. Like there are brands for like the specific Mikus in like some of the games. They have like references to like this outfit.
Oh, Supreme Miku.
Yeah, so it's like they have a name technically, but like they never name any of them because like
that's why I'm just basing them off the
Yeah.
modules, because that's what their
Yeah.
dimension.
that's sort of what they go for.
yeah, they call these dimensions Sakai.
Which well,
And
no,
I like-
Sekai Film Work. Like Sekai is like a company.
no,
but
that is
also-
what those dimensions
But that's
are
also
called.
what they're called.
Yes.
And it's like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
So these dimensions called Sakais, they hold the Vocaloids in there, and apparently the group can just go into technology and be there with them.
Yeah.
I was just like, but how though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the reason why they call them Sakais is because Project Sakai is the company who actually makes Vocaloid. Like they are the actual.
Yes.
So each one of them is their own Sakai module.
And also, it's an isekai.
Sort of. Well, it's not an isekai because it's not isekai if it's VR. And Vocaloid is VR.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
they don't go to a different world unless you count the digital world as an isekai.
and you do not. The digital world is generally speaking not considered an isekai
because it's still within the same world.
Yeah.
You're just on a different plane of the same world.
Digimon sometimes that blurs the line because they sometimes make the digital world be its own dimension that's not part of the main world. And so sometimes you get weird crap like that, but
in this case,
no, it is not an isekai. Although it sort of is an isekai for Miku.
for Miku,
Because Miku specifically isekais out of her own universe
Yes.
into another universe, which is just like, what the fuck. But yeah,
So
I feel so bad for main Miku in this game because she's basically depression Miku.
yeah, so let's just call the Miku that can't sing, in quotes. She can sing, guys, by the way.
Yeah, she can, but she can't connect with anyone, so her
She
singing
can't
is worthless.
connect with anyone who doesn't. Let's just say they're not in Sakais. If you have never been to a Sakai, then she cannot. You can't hear her.
Well, it's not even. I don't even think it's that. It's specifically that these are people who are creative people who are in hard times and like are like failing and like giving up. And so it's like if you can't bring yourself to have any level of hope that things will get better, Miku can't help you. Which is kind of the point of this message of this movie of like you have to believe that things can get better for Miku to be able to reach you.
Yeah, this movie almost made me cry a
Because
couple
Miku
times.
is hope and dreams.
Yeah, so like I almost cried a few times where I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's sad enough.
You're allowed to cry. Like you're allowed to cry for any reason. It doesn't have to be sad enough for you to cry.
But I'm saying like I was on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
I didn't have any tears in my eye, but I thought
Yeah.
they were about to come and they didn't.
The moment when they did the song with the Vocaloid, all the Vocaloid singing, that was
Unknown.
actually like that was a good moment when they had that, like not the end one, but the one before the end one where Miku was missing and all the
that's
Vocaloids
where
were
I was
singing.
about to cry.
That one,
yeah.
that was like a very like powerful moment in the show. Like that was very good. Like 'Cause, yeah, I definitely felt the song at that point.
But yeah, so that song is called Unknown, and I
Yeah.
believe it is the main theme of.
What I was
The
gonna say
game?
was is the song actually called Unknown,
Yes.
or is it literally it was not named in the movie and that's why it was
No.
called Unknown?
It is called Unknown.
Yeah, alright. But yeah, it was a great song, like, but very short though.
By the way, guys, out of all the Miku songs that we heard in this movie, if you can count some of them as Miku
As I
songs.
say, I think the 5 at the end are not Miku songs.
No, the 5 at the end were not.
Yeah.
The only one that I recognized, I know Dako 27 was in, like, his work was in this movie because he was credited.
Yeah, he's credited for, like, I think 3 different songs or something.
Well,
He was in 3
to be
times.
fair, I don't know if Dako is a chick or a man because
It may be
honestly
a studio. It
don't
may not
know.
even be one person.
But regardless, I only recognize Glow. Glow is a song that we have not heard since Mirai DX. And that might not be a joke, guys. At least I haven't heard or seen Glow since that game. I don't think it's been in Future Tone. If it has, I haven't played Future Tone yet. In Future Tone, I thought it had every song, but I'm not sure.
It is a he.
He? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Deco Nina or Deco 27.
But yeah, I only knew Glow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even Miku singing it. It was the other main girl that wasn't Miku, the one from the Rock.
Yeah.
Module.
Yep.
World. Sakai.
Yeah. Sakai.
Module.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and she played a few of other Miku songs for the Miku who couldn't sing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just call her the main module Miku, or the Miku, or the goddess Miku from
I don't even. Yeah.
Diva X.
Yeah.
But anyway, I recognized none of those songs. Like, I haven't heard them before.
Yeah.
So I only got one.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely a situation where the a lot of the that's the problem with me. I can't recognize almost any of the music because I am not that into Miku. Like,
and I would be surprised about that because I've played at least 2 Miku games for you.
Yeah. Yes, but a lot of those songs are just stuff that appear in the background for the episodes. Like, I recognize you're playing them, but I don't commit them to memory. So there's a few of them that I can, like, if the game was playing, I'd recognize, or that I can hear, like, the main screen short bit of, because you go over them way too many times. But that's literally it.
But you'd probably recognize Clover Club.
No problem. But
but still,
I'd recognize your adventure log has vanished, because that one I actually discovered before knowing what the fuck Miku was.
But yeah, I'm sure that some of you, if you were more Miku fans than me, would probably recognize some of those songs. I just didn't. I only knew Glow.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, music was great. The plot was interesting. We got to know the characters at first, and then apparently they can just go to the digital world.
Yeah.
With no explanation.
So, because it was really funny, because they had the intro bits where they were showing all the characters, and it's, again, this is kind of frustrating if you don't know any of the characters from the games, because you are watching a group talk, and then a second group talk, and then a third group talk, and then a fourth group talk, and then a fifth group talk, and then back to the first group again to start it all over. And so it is just this infinite loop of going through all 5 groups doing stuff. But they start out showing the Sakai, but they don't explain anything about it.
I thought it was just the intro, like,
yeah, like
it was supposed to be magical.
Yeah, because they show one of the characters there, and then they show somebody pop in, and I just thought that was an effect. It was like, oh, we're seeing a fanciful version of basically them interacting with an MMD software, basically, or something. They literally have Discord appear in this show.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I just presumed it was. Like, they're on Discord, they're in a VR call, but they're making it look like this. Or, this is their, if they're an online, like, Vocaloid style performer, they're doing, this is their scenes, and they're showing their characters as if they were literally in there. But then we see it happen the other way, from inside their rooms, and like, no, they literally magically teleport into the fucking place. And it's like, what the hell?
Both me and Olabro were shocked. We were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just like, they don't explain any of the shit in this.
Like, and I almost called it out too. I almost said, what the fuck out loud?
Yeah, because it is, you are left thinking, like, what the fuck is going on? Because they don't, again, you are just expected to know stuff about Miku. They barely say any of the names of any of the other module characters. They don't really say Ren and Lin's name that often, or Kaito, or Mako, or any of those. They don't say their names unless yeah, it's very rare. So it's like, there's no introduction to this of like, here's how the world of Miku works. Nothing. You are just dropped in.
Shot into the story.
So yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it is a bit, I can understand why some people might think this is a bit hard to follow. Just a bit.
And that's why I said this is just random things are happening.
Yeah,
and
it's not quite random things are happening, but yeah, it kind of has like slice of life or something like that.
It gives me like Space Odyssey vibes where here's these group of characters doing one thing, and then we cut away, and then this is a different group. Hey, this one has HAL 9000. Then we cut from that, and then you're in a whimsical world going through time and space, which may be one of the last group. But again, it's just boring.
Yeah, but again, the problem is that they never interact with each other. Because
they kind of
They have interactions, but like they have the one interaction with the girl and her brother, where they're both trying to figure out how do we write the song. And it's like, do they even know that the other both knows that Miku and are doing the same thing?
I don't think they do.
So it's just like, they're both just like on the couch thinking about what to do next to each other. And it's like, bitch, you're working on the same thing. Like,
I don't know. But anyway, so the whole point is to help Miku in her, the one who can't sing, the main Miku, help her get back control of her Sakai, and the only way to do that is to help her reach people that are, let's just say, failing in life.
Yeah, see, and I thought when they were going to the song section, I thought it was going to be that they were each trying to figure out how to finish her song. And so there was going to be 5 exactly the same songs, basically. But no, they are completely not even the same type of song. They have the same message, but none of the same words.
But that first song, that one went hard, boy.
Yeah, the 5 songs in this are all very very different genres. All of them were pretty good, but there were definitely definitely songs that you're going to resonate with more.
The first one was amazing. I loved the first one the best. Second one, a little bit bubbly, but I thought it was fine.
I just loved the fact that they had the girl literally droned in to the scene, which is like, what the fuck? Because that was live in real world.
Yes,
that was not that wasn't
that
the digital.
Was hilarious.
Was it 1 or 2 of them that were digital bands? Because the main girl, that was not a live stage. That they were in their Sakai recording that. Because they're like an online band.
Only one of them was an online band.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 3 or 4.
But the goth one, the elegant ones, oh my god, that one was great too. The visuals were amazing. Yeah,
visuals are great in that.
And the fourth one, the rock one, that one. Wait, is the fourth one the last one? I can't remember.
No, the 5th one was the last one, but I don't know.
But anyway, and the last one was nice. I
loved the moment when they had, because I think it was in the first one, where they had the guys were singing, and then they did the common rock star thing of just you have 2 lead singers and you have them sing off each other's mics, which is just that is awesome. Always love that.
But yeah, that's why I said that first song went really hard, because you could tell that they put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, they did a good job.
But yeah, eventually after their great performances, the world goes crazy, and Miku basically interrupts all of their performances.
Yeah, sort of.
For context, guys, for whatever reason, main Miku Sakai basically consumed her and broke down.
I was gonna say, it literally became that there was no hope. There was no nothing there. It was dead.
Yeah, and apparently this caused a chain reaction of you can never hear Miku's voice again on any media.
Yeah. She is Miku Prime. You can if she dies, all other Mikus die.
That's why I'm like, she's the goddess Miku from Diva X.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is.
Yeah.
But anyway, eventually that song resonates enough to revive Miku, and everything goes back to normal-ish after Miku interrupts their performance.
Yeah. I like how everyone's just like, what the fuck is, every time they see a Miku in something that's not obviously supposed to be there because it's an ad or something, they're just like, is this a tie-in? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, their reactions
like
great.
It's just great. Like, such a great reaction. I still don't understand though, how the fuck was the Miku jumping out of the phone into the real world, projecting herself like hologram style? Like, what the? Because sometimes she wasn't even doing that. She's like, oh, let me come out of the screen, around you, and back into the screen. It's like, what the fuck? What kind of magic bullshit are you?
Miku's a digital magical girl.
Yes.
Pop idol.
Yes.
But anyway, by the way, guys, so if you thought that was the end of the movie, you'd be wrong. There are 2 end credits.
The fact that Young was like, there's almost certainly not going to be anything, and looked it up and was like, no, there's 2 end credit scenes.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, the Japanese credits are much shorter than they're much shorter than the credits for a Disney movie.
And they had a cool effect where it flashed different colors.
Yep.
During the music. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was really nice.
But here's why I think this game is a prequel game. This movie is a prequel to the game. Because we see that first post-credit scene. I guarantee you that is the player meeting the goddess Miku to continue in the game.
That is very possible. It would not surprise me.
And
if you go play the game and the first scene is
that
line,
that would be amazing. And then the last post-credit scene is a special performance from Hatsune Miku for those who stayed after the credits.
Yep.
And we all loved it. Also, we loved our theater. Our theater
was nice.
They had great reactions, and we all just started clapping after the last performance.
Yeah, we had decent reactions in this theater.
So we loved our theater.
This is a more like formal theater. We had to have assigned seating. We couldn't just sit wherever we wanted. It was just like, ugh.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to actually pick chairs.
Oh, okay.
Which I kind of regretted picking the chairs closer to the center, not like moving one over, because I'm just like, I am like crushed right up against this other group, but oh well.
Yeah. But otherwise, even though the plot was kind of everywhere, like, it is a really, like, heartfelt, like, movie. Yeah. Very, I don't want to say it's relaxing. It's not exactly relaxing.
Yeah, but it was a decent movie.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed it, but...
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, like, one of the best movies I've ever seen.
No. But, yeah, it was fine. Alright, anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
Nope.
Okay.
So are we gonna rate the movie?
Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So, as always, guys, we're gonna look at the critical consensus of the movie and see what critics are talking about.
I bet you they shitted on it.
So, critical consensus is there is no critical consensus. There is one fucking review, I think. Easy skip for the uninitiated. Offer more for audiences who are familiar with the games and characters. Sure, that line is perfectly fine. He gave it a 5 out of 10, but there's literally so few ratings, they won't even display a critical... He is the actual only rating. So, one critic gave it 5 out of 10, and that's it, because no one else watched the movie. Audiences gave it a 95%.
95.
Now, I think I'm gonna kind of say that I think the audiences might be a bit high on this one. I was gonna give this like a solid 80, maybe 85, but like I'm not like it's a good movie, but
like I get that Miku just makes this movie, and that's probably why
it's a
so
Miku
high.
movie. Of course, people are excited about it.
Like
she had a movie.
This is the only Miku movie.
Yeah,
she has been featured in other like animated films and TV shows.
But this is a movie about
first
Miku
movie.
Yeah.
But it's from a game.
Yeah. Now I will say the one thing that I actually kind of was frustrated about in this, well, not frustrated, but was like I was kind of like rolling my eyes about was at the beginning of the movie they had like an intro. And I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't a Miku TV special. Why are you putting a fucking intro at the beginning? But yeah, But outside of that, like,
I don't think it deserves anything lower than a 79.
No,
I'd say it's a high 80.
Yeah, like I was gonna say 80, like 85 for you, maybe. I don't know. 89,
I'd go 80. Like, okay, I don't really want it higher either because.
Gotcha.
Like I said, it's not the best anime movie I've ever seen.
But it was perfectly fine.
I love the visuals. I loved the music in it.
Yeah.
And I love that it's a Miku movie, but I can't give it anything higher than an 80. Because there's something about this movie that wasn't enough. We've had 3 80 movies in a row, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. And again, that's not a problem that we've just had 3 movies in a row that are perfectly serviceable movies. They're not bad. They are good.
But yeah, you would think I would rate this higher because it's a Miku movie, but
it's a good movie.
It's just not
a perfect movie.
What it could have been.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is perfectly fine. It is an enjoyable movie, and if they had a sequel to it, I'm sure we'd go watch it. But
absolutely.
But it is a fine movie. Now, good job, PA Works. The plot could have used a little bit more work.
Yes.
but yeah. Outside of that, I think that's all we got to say. So, that's going to be it for this hot take. We will come back next time with a new movie, maybe. Assuming we can get our schedule back in order and are able to do so. Until then, we'll see you all on the next hot take.
Bye-bye.